Thank you all for joining. This is part 2 of the Superhuman Immune System Building class. This is going to be around the emotional aspects and nutritional aspects that build a better immune system. If you have not seen part 1, it is on Facebook under Bill McKenna author. That page, you should be able to find a replay there. In addition to that, I'm going to do this again live. I don't know if it'll be Tuesday or what day, but you will get an email about it, and that we're going to do it again, part 1 and part 2, because there's so many people have said that they really enjoyed it and got something out of it. I find that it's not enough for most people just to watch things one time. They have to, because this is pretty much all new, they have to hear it a few times and do it a few times in order to, have it become natural for them. Probably more than just a few times. So before I start, I just want to see if anybody has any questions from part 1 that I can directly address before we delve here into part 2. And I think there's a little function there where you raise your hand. Liz Larson's the person who oversees all of this, and she'll unmute you if you raise your hand or make a little note in the chat. There's a little chat function. I'll give you a second. Anybody who has a question?
Bill, right this second, everybody is unmuted. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and speak up. But as soon as you start the meeting, I'll mute everyone.
Okay.
And then can I just say that after that, once the meeting has started, if you do have a question, please put it in the chat section. Bill will check them, or if he doesn't happen to see it, I'll let him know we have them. So feel free to ask questions in the chat room.
Okay. Great. No questions so far, or on no questions on the Facebook end of things, I assume. Okay, so I'm going to jump right into this. So first, everybody has already been through the breathing and the history of the techniques, right? About voltage and how we create greater voltage in our body and boost our immune system from a physical perspective. I find that people often will really look at health as spiritually and ignore the body, or they look at things about their emotional health and they ignore the nutrition aspect, or they only pay attention. You see, they're fans of the you've witnessed these probably people at yourself is at the health food store. They're angry as hell, but they're in the vitamin section, and they're really knowledgeable about vitamins. So you need all the pillars of emotional, physical, nutrition, food, all those different things. You need to just have all of them support you and your immunity. I think there's somebody who needs a mute, possibly. Okay, so here, what I'm going to go over in this next section is going to be around the emotional techniques. Now, as I mentioned early on, or actually late in part 1, is that the emotional aspect that we have very much it impacts our physical systems. There's never a time that your mind is not in contact with your body, and your body is not in contact with your mind, and your feelings are not affecting your.
I'm gonna make sure that they're not.
Luckily, I think it made him.
Thank you.
Need to do a couple mutes there.
Okay, just slowing down with it.
Everybody, can you please mute yourself? I'm having a hard time muting you from this side.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, great. So from a very practical perspective, you know, I like to break this down so it becomes real for everybody. In your lives, you already know that when you've been super stressed at work, or maybe a divorce, or maybe it was the death of a loved one, or anything that stresses you out, at a certain point, you probably had that stress and that fear affect you physically. You've got a cold, you've got a flu, you got a canker sore. Other people get severe back pains. It comes out in many different ways. So I think in most people's real life experience, they can see the tear down of their bodies and their immune system through the stresses. So the problem is that for almost all of us, we don't have many tools about what the heck do I do about that? You know, I can't help how I feel. You know, right now, you're sequestered in your house, and there's probably, not probably, but there might be somebody in the house that is, that let's say, does some things that you don't like very much. And that gives you stress and you can't get away now. Or you might be in a position where you have intense fear of what the heck is going to happen with my job or my business or my retirement, because all the stocks are falling and it seems like, you know, this is really tearing down the world's economy. So anyway, there are many things that you can do, and I'm going to teach you a few of them. But I want to show you some of the tests that we've done that will help you to understand that this is very real. We can actually see the results of your stress. Now, this woman right here, I talked about this in part one, and this was one example of a woman who resented her husband, really significant, and there's a lot of stress, right? She had children, and she's raising the children and resenting the husband a lot. Now, over here on one side is a measurement of how much energy each individual, let's say, you know, pituitary gland, her thyroid, you know, her jaw. You could actually measure now the amount of energy that each one of them has. And anything that is highlighted are the things that are out of balance, in between parasympathetic or sympathetic systems, or in the East, they know it as Ida Pingala. Doesn't matter. The thing that we worked on, I worked with this woman for a few hours, and we got her to a point where she could not only forgive, but start to love her husband again. And here's the effect. This is after. Look at how much more energy she had, and it was only one organ that was out of balance. Look at this. Look at the difference again. Low energy and out of balance, high energy and balance. Now, it's easier said than done, right? Everybody is like, love that person. I don't think you understand. I'm living with a narcissist, or, you know, I got somebody who's just a little off here. You know, this is not fun. Well, there are things that we can do about processing issues, and I'm going to get to those in a minute. I'm just going to show a couple of things here. First, this is a woman who had a fear of falling. Now, this fear of falling, she had fallen before and busted her femur very badly, and it shows up here as kind of a lack of energy. We can actually measure this now. And after we did Cogno movement, you can see how it all filled in. It was only 15 minutes. the fear went away and the energy returned. Here's before, here's after. Anyway, so with you reducing fear, the energy comes back, or processing the issue. So what I'm going to do with you next is I'm going to show you some techniques to boost, not only boost your energy ultimately, but how to deal with releasing these kind of that stuckness. You know, I can't help how I feel. I keep looping, you know, they do the same thing and I feel the same way. So your thoughts are for your head and your feelings are for your body. You have a feeling, right? That person starts doing this thing, or I watch the TV and I get this anxious feeling, and then I start thinking thoughts about what's going to happen, and then it stimulates my feeling in my body. So it's kind of a loop. So there, I'm going to teach you a few ways to break that. The first one is that you carry tension in your body. So if you just simply notice, if you think about whatever you're afraid of right now, and then just notice what's going on with your body. Notice your face. Notice there's a little micro contraction somewhere in your muscles, jaw, you know, your chest, your shoulders, somewhere there is this tension. All you have to do is just tell your physical body to release. Release the jaw, release the shoulders physically. Now you still feel how you feel. There's no change in what's going on, but you tell your physical body, the part that's tense, to release and relax. And then you go all the way from your head, all the way to your feet, and notice. Notice your tongue. Notice your hands. Notice your shoulders. Notice every part of your body, that where is the tension? And you basically physically relax the body, those little micro contractions right now. And you go all the way from toe to head and do the same thing, head to toe, toe to head, but there's going to be a little something somewhere that's contracted. Now the new piece of information for you here is that your body is participating in your stress. As you're, let's say, I'm really afraid of what's going to happen with my job, right? You don't want to feel that way, and your body literally contracts. It may be your neck, but you contract somewhere. If you release the physical contraction, the feeling goes away. It can actually go up and through you. So this is something that you can immediately do, and just with this simple knowledge, you can start to watch the people around you. When they start talking about it, look at their face. Is it around their lips? Are the lips pursed? Is it around their eyes? Where is it that they're holding the tension? You'll see everybody does it. And it's not just fear. It could be jealousy. It could be anything. Your body is participating in this with you. So the first technique is just to notice those little micro constrictions. Some of them are not so micro. And tell the body to physically relax. That's your first technique. And that really works. You can't be upset and relaxed. You're physically, your body relaxed all at the same time. As you're trying to go to sleep, you can try this as well. A lot of people will carry that right in their neck, right? And now that you know this, it'll make your sleep a lot easier. So that's technique number one. Technique number two is your eyes. So as you are thinking about a problem, whatever it might be, some way that you're feeling, if you roll your eyes, and I mean roll your eyes like this, you roll it all the way left, and you can roll them all the way right, but you just keep going round and round. And if you start telling your story about this issue, oh gosh, there's the virus, and the government shutting everything down, and I'm very upset because we're now don't have toilet paper on the shelves in the grocery store, and you go on and on and on about what you're upset about. What happens is over time, and this technique is much slower, but over time, you'll find that it'll diminish your feelings about it. And you'll actually start to get a broader perspective. It's very funny how the physical and emotional kind of mirror each other. You're forcing your eyes to the furthest extent of where they can look and broadening perspective, but also as you're telling the story to yourself and moving your eyes, you're going to find that new thoughts and new creative things come to you. You're going to, oh gosh, I never thought of it that way. And oh gosh, well, I could do this, or I could do that. Or, maybe there's nothing I can do about this right now, and maybe I should just enjoy being with the people that I'm with. But whatever it is, I'm making up stuff, but whatever it is, what happens is you're looking in positions that you ordinarily don't look in. Your eyes are connected to your brain. And that means that I'm forcing new areas into activity. So very, very simple. You just move your eyes the whole way. And what you'll find, there may be parts you're going to find feels like a little rubber band, kind of like tension, and I have a hard time looking there. That's the part that you're going to be stimulating the activity in your brain. That's the part that you're not used to using. So you just kind of work that area up and over and up and over. Very simple technique, really works. I have the funny story I'd love to tell about this one is I learned this from a very good, amazing teacher that I've had. I've had quite a few, and this after I learned this technique, I found that I started noticing things that I never saw before. The example I love to use, but I have a lot more, is I was getting on the freeway, and in San Diego, I lived pretty much in the same house for 30 years or so, and I looked over at my wife as I was getting on the freeway, and I was like, how long has that 7-Eleven been on the corner? And she goes, forever. And I could see it. It was old. And I was like, no, that's a Mossy Nissan. There's been a Mossy Nissan there my entire life, but I could never, my perspective was not, for whatever, blocked. And all of a sudden, after doing the exercise, I was like, oh my gosh, there's an entire corner that I've never seen before. You'll find this happening. You'll find that when you start to, you're utilizing more of your brain and more of your perspective, and you'll find that you'll see new things that you've never seen before. So anyway, that's technique number 2. Technique number 3 is absolutely shockingly amazing. Now, this technique is cogno-movement. So cogno-movement is, that's cogno, like your brain, and movement. Cogno-movement with it is you let yourself feel how you feel. Let's say I'm in a lot of fear. I'm of losing my job and losing my house and everything. Most of us don't have resources to be able to last 6 months or a year with no income. So you basically let yourself feel that fear, and you do this exercise with this ball. Uh, Basically, you feel the fear and you say the color you see: orange, purple, blue, green. You're moving it left to right. Now, with this technique, and there's a lot of other techniques, by the way, with this ball, but you'll find that you'll be able not only to process the issue where you don't feel it anymore. It's not like you're like, I'm so strong, you just don't feel it anymore. And you also get new ideas. And why is that? It's not magic. It is the ball is occupying the right side of your brain. The right side of your brain sees three-dimensional objects in time and space. The left side of your brain, it sees colors and symbols. And when you do this exercise, you actually are doing it in different eye positions. And you start low, you're able to, when your eyes are low, they are activating the kinesthetic part of your brain. When your eyes are level, it's the auditory part of your brain. And when your eyes are up, it is the visual part of your brain. So you do this whole exercise. There's a website, cognimovement.com, for the exercise and also the balls and that sort of thing. They're on Amazon. But when you do this exercise, you are stimulating all the different parts of your brain, and also left brain, right brain. So this exercise, in between maybe 5 to 15 minutes, and you literally just don't feel it anymore. It's a very significant way to process emotional issues, and it spans emotional issues regarding to eating, grief, guilt, resentment, blame, you name it. You can process it, and process it fast. The big thing I think that I want to get across with this is that instead of fighting the way you feel, it is just, I just don't feel that way anymore. It's not like you're not trying anymore. It's just gone. You can remember the issue, you just don't feel anything about it. I call it emotional amnesia. So the those okay, I got muted there for a second. Now I'm unmuted. So this is those are 3 techniques that you can utilize immediately. I'm going to give you one more emotional technique, and that is, it has to do, as I mentioned, about your eyes and what part of your brain is activated. If you feel like you can't take it anymore and you're about to cry and you really don't want to, look up with your eyeballs. If you look up with your eyeballs, you disconnect from your emotion. If you feel there are, and this works, about crying, or it could be something else. If you have kids, if you get their eyes up, and you have to keep their eyes up for about a minute or so, and you'll see their emotions will subside. The way to do it is to, because you're physically bigger than them, if you stand near them, and so you force their eyes up, they'll cock their head back and try to keep from, putting their eyes up when they're emotional. But you'll see them calm down very, very quickly. It's just a biological function that we all have. If you look down with your eyes, you connect with your emotions. It's kind of, it's a double-edged sword. And especially with everybody with your phones now, if you notice, everybody is looking down and texting, and they're texting about, oh my gosh, did you hear about the death count, how horrible this virus is? And they're looking down. They are so connected with their emotions. They're really feeling it. And that is no fun. no fun for anybody. So eyes up helps you to disconnect. People are more apt to be able to accept a new idea if their eyes are up. They're and when I say that, they're less emotional. You know, you can be more logical. So that gives you a total of 4 techniques that you can use right away. I have a lot more to offer on techniques that really work, but we're just giving kind of a emergency treatment right now, and we can if you want more help, you just let me know, and we'll set up a session or something. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Back to sharing. Okay, we've gone through some emotional release. I do want to show you some other things about your environment that will be of significant help to you. This is here. This is about forgiveness. So if you look here, here is a woman. It was very funny because I was working with her, and this was her readout when I was working with her with a device that can measure, and I said, you know, I think, you know, what could really align your system is forgiveness, and would you like to try it? And she was Irish, and she was like, oh no, those are me treasures. Those are I can't let go of me treasures. And so anyway, very funny that her way of looking at these things as being her treasures. But I talked her into forgiving, because it would be good for her. And here it is. This is forgiveness after. So when you forgive, you feel different. I don't know if you've been through it before, but you really feel different. I'm going to show you a technique. I showed this to some of the people on one of the phase 1s, but I'm going to show it to everybody now. And that is, I'm going to have you to pick a part of your body that hurts. And this works really well with the teeth. It's just shocking how it works. But pick a part of your body that hurts physically and put your finger on it. Notice how it feels on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say, you know, wherever it hurts. And then what you do is to ask the question, who is it that I need to forgive that's related to this space? Just ask yourself that. And you'll instantly either know or see their face, or you know who it is. And I find that's the easiest part of this, is everybody just knows. And go ahead and just forgive that person completely, utterly, and totally. They were doing the best they could at the time. I know it sounds stupid, and that they should be able to do better than that, but the truth is that they're just limited. A limited perspective, or thinking about something else, or God knows what. But letting them go completely forgiving them. And once you have done that, ask to see the next person that you need to forgive. Just ask to see that person and completely forgive them. Completely and totally forgive them. And then, once that is done, you can ask again, who's the next person this will work relative to your ability to truly forgive. If you want your immunity, forgive. Completely. And now, what I'm going to do is ask you to just notice the level of pain that it was when you started, and then notice the pain now, or the discomfort. If you really did do the forgiveness, did you actually get the benefit of the pain going away? What this is usually in degrees. If it's a 10 in pain, and then you may find that you've decreased to a 5, and then a 4, and a 3. It doesn't dump right to a 0. Usually it'll jump in half, and then it'll go a little farther and a little farther. So anyway, I'm going to stop here for a minute because I've given you now 5 different ways to emotionally do things and boost your immunity through, relaxation, through forgiveness, and that sort of thing. So I'll stop because I've given you a lot to digest and experience, and open this up to any questions. So you can unmute yourself and ask your question if you like. Or you can type in the chat room if you like, or if you happen to be live, watching the live on Facebook, you can type in there and Liz will let me know. Any comments as well from anybody that had an experience when you were doing this? How it worked for you, or need any clarification on it?
Hi, I would just say that when I did it earlier, I did the touch point and my jaw is always tight, always. And so I had 3 people that came up, and the second one, tears came and emotion, and it did subside. I got it to a 2, so I probably could have gone further. And even a person who I never even think about came up, which was interesting. So I just wanted to share that, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being, well, first of all, my question to you, first, thank you for telling everybody of your experience. Where did it start at? It got down to about a 2, but where did it?
I would say it was a 5. It's probably higher, but I gauged it at a 5 because I'm literally, I could probably crack walnuts with my teeth. But I'd say it was a 5, and then it went to a 2, and I didn't process further, and I know I can, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, and that's good for your health, right? For people that have things around their jaw, they call it bruxism, where they bite down real hard and they bust up teeth and everything. Spend a lot of money at the dentist with that one. But yeah, it's amazing how that works and how much better you can sleep, and headaches as well. If you have it in the jaw, there's some things that happen with tendons that end up causing intense migraines. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Bill, first of all, I want to say hi, Coral. That's one of our magnificent Cogno Movement practitioners from the Oregon area, and we have several. So before we go tonight, let's give them a shout out. But Jennifer has a question. Or a comment. She said, "Something really cool just happened. I envisioned forgiving my husband and focus on pain all around my eyes, and immediately I felt sinus drainage, and I don't have a cold. Now the pain around my eyes is maybe a 2 from a 9. So cool."
Well, there you go. Yes. congratulations, right? This information, about the forgiving and that sort of thing, it's not broadly known. You would think, right? This should be like, we should learn this in first grade, but literally nobody knows about it. Very, very few people know that about this. Um, again, a different teacher that I had, Shaman, had taught me this one, and which I'm very grateful for. But the thing works, and it works fast. So I encourage you to use it, and also to share, right? Share with your loved ones and other people that are in pain, to help them.
So we've got, oh, sorry, go ahead. Oh, we've got Erica, who said, thank you so much. My pain was in my neck, shoulders, and immediately eased off after working through my lineup, in quotes, for forgiveness. Thank you. Thanks, Erica.
Thank you, Erica. That's great. If we were to take a picture of you, one of the BioWell tests, you would end up seeing what just happened with your energy and all of your organs in your body. You would just see, boom, way more energy and aligned. It actually, the way you feel, right? You feel better. You probably feel more peace as well. It really does show up in your organs. So it's all I can say is congratulations on helping your whole system to create that immunity, and a lot of other things too.
Hi. Hi, Bill.
Hi.
My comment is that when I was working with you, it was easier with your focus to release and to forgive. And when I do it on my own, it's like 1/10 of what it was happening in your presence. And so I feel like inadequate. It makes me feel, not really getting this. I mean, I get it. I know how to do it, but maybe I don't focus as clearly, or I needed your assistance, but your aura helped to make me focus better. I don't know, just want to comment that way.
Okay. Well, thank you. The masses of humanity have not had the ability to work with me face to face like you did. So it's but I very much enjoy working with you, and made a lot of progress. So it's I'm just kind of a guide. I'm just kind of helping to give information and guide people kind of through a process. The power is all with you. I cannot make you forgive. I can't make you see a different point of view. It's all kind of within you, is to see a different point of view. What I will say is, if you're having a hard time with forgiving, right, is you can start moving your eyes. If you move your eyes and feel where the tension is, think of the situation and the person, is to literally just start moving your eyes and feel where the tension is, and move it through the tension spots, and then move them around. It automatically stimulates more of your brain. And with that, it becomes much easier to see a new perspective and to forgive. I believe I told the story on the session one, of this superhuman immunity, and that is related to near-death experiences. When somebody has a near-death experience and they go far enough in it, they are able to experience life as everyone else in their life. So in the conflict, you actually get to become them, and you get to feel everything they felt. And the outcome of that is typically that people who do come back from near-death experience say that it's not what they thought. They have a totally new perspective. and that it becomes much easier to forgive them. I would just keep it in mind that maybe there was, more going on in our experience, and that I know I'm going to have this experience when I die of what was the other person thinking and feeling as everything is going. But I get it. Forgiveness can be hard. I mean, there's some people who did some things that really, can light you up. I'll give you one last thing about forgiveness, and that is the 3 words. These are my 3 magic words, and is have I ever. So all of our lessons in life, when we feel something in our body, meaning negative feeling, and I can't help how I feel, I always ask those 3 words: have I ever? Have I ever done that before, or something like it, the essence of it? And inevitably, if I've got the feeling, it is definitely I've done it. And the way to kind of end it, where you end this karma, if you will, is to stop doing it. Don't do it anymore to anyone, anywhere, for any reason. I know what it feels like to do it. I know what it feels like to have it done to me. You know what? The ending is the changing of my mind. I simply am not going to do it anymore. That's the change that ends your karma. And you'll find when this happens, when you do that, it's like the actors leave the stage. There's no more play, right? We've completed our mission together, and I've seen everything just shift. Like people who you just say you can never get away from, all of a sudden gone, or they change their mind. It's amazing. It's until you experience the phenomenon, it sounds weird, but it really happens. And it just starts with those 3 simple words: have I ever? And by the way, the thought is always, hell no, I ain't, I didn't do that. But it feels like a grain of sand when you did it. It feels like a mountain when it came at you. So it's just change your mind. I'm not going to do it anymore to anybody. Okay. So
Hold on, Bill.
We're
Hold
on
on.
a tangent there.
Hold on. We have Annette asked a very pertinent question. Annette, do you want to come on and ask that question?
Yeah, my question was, how does the work that we do on ourselves help others?
Oh God! Wow.
Yeah, just
Wow.
that one.
So it's amazing how quickly it can help another person, right? The work that you're doing to release your fears and your resentments, those sorts of things, you'll find that those things will impact the people around you in amazing ways. That damaged relationships, people that were estranged, all of a sudden will call up, and they'll be as if nothing ever happened. I've witnessed this countless times, where people just call, and then they're like, "Hey, what's up?" And it's like, yes, you hadn't heard from in years, or stuff like that. The things that we hold against another are held against us, really, because we're the ones feeling it, right? From a very simplistic point of view, is that if I'm holding something against somebody, it's really held in my body. And so when I forgive and I let go, I do this work, literally you can measure it in your body now. All these things, all your systems align. So if you looked at it just slightly differently, when I release them and the situation, it's released in me. And oddly enough, it makes them free. And and this could manifest itself in many, many ways. Either them coming closer, moving farther away, the resolution of things that you thought there was no resolution to, and it comes out of left field. So all I can say is it's very positive.
Karen, it's Bill here. Can you hear me?
Hi, Karen.
Hey. In our session together, this came up as well, but one of the things that I'm acutely aware of is my difficulty in forgiving myself, and that other people reflect how I treat myself. And it's just, this is really great. I didn't have a huge reduction in the jaw pain, slight, but I'm working on it. But one of the things that I found helpful, and I'll just share this, is to be really deeply in touch and at a physical level, at a cellular level, with the pain that I am holding there. And for me, it has to do with not just a physical pain, but a fear that if I forgive myself and I'm not afraid of those situations, that I won't be safe. I won't keep myself safe because my fear keeps me safe. So we had talked about this some, but I thought you might want to comment on that.
So this one is it's a fallacy, right? At a certain level of understanding, it seems totally true, right?
Right.
I need my fear. I need it to keep me in line. And people look at it for motivation. People look at it as their edge, right? I've had, especially in business.
Yeah, don't fuck with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I need my edge, man.
Yeah.
I gotta be, samurai warrior, gonna cut you down. So it's simply not true, but it takes a leap of faith to actually take the jump, because it seems very not safe, right? It seems not safe without my fear. What I would like to encourage is the forgiveness of self and letting go of the fear that you no longer really need it. Your fear is now replaced with wisdom and discernment. I know the old decisions and the ramifications of those, and now I'm making new decisions. I'm not going to make those same old decisions, and I have discernment. You are very, very safe if you let go of your fear, and you're unsafe if you hold on to it. And why would I say that? That doesn't make any sense. And the reason that it makes perfect sense is your fears will find you.
Yeah. My fears have come upon me, straight out of the book of Job.
And they will. And
yeah.
They knew this
Absolutely.
2,000 years ago. And, we're all come here learning these lessons. So as a gift to you, letting go of the fears and forgiving yourself, and for all of us, right? This is a whole discussion, and I could take the next hour of it. I need to keep focused on immunity, but it is important to immunity, because the resentments against myself constrict my body, right? I feel bad. And these are extremely low levels of understanding. Shame, guilt, and humiliation, they're right at the bottom of the scale. They're extremely dense, and they will keep me physically sick and emotionally sick and in physical pain. You literally will get in pain from this. So you, and I say you, me, everyone, we're really doing the best we could. In every moment of our lives, even though we knew the right choice, but maybe it was peer pressure, maybe it was lust, maybe it was greed, maybe it was fear, but in that case, in that particular situation, you did the best you could. You know, you might have been over in one of our wars, one of our many wars that we've had, and you had to do some things that you did not want to do. You may have had to take a life. And in that time, you were doing the best you could with the level of consciousness or awareness or understanding that you had, the age you were at. It was all you could do. And that was it. And you can forgive yourself and let go and accept yourself. Everybody is here learning lessons, and they're learning lessons at just different levels. You're completely, from a divine perspective, if you will, you're completely loved and accepted as you are and not judged. You will have the experience of reliving everything after you die, but you're accepted as you are. So your systems will align and start to work really well if we accept ourselves, just, you know, and let go. I did it, and that was at that time, but I certainly wouldn't do it again. And that's it.
One of the things that I'm really aware of is that whether it is fear, guilt, shame, despair, blame, all those things below, you know, the 200 level of consciousness that Hawkins talks about, all of those, for me at any rate, have been ways that I have tried to keep myself safe.
We all do that.
Yeah. But, you know, seeing that there's a place where I think we can have a lot of compassion, not just for others, but for ourselves. When we realize that we were really, what we were doing underneath that was trying to be safe. It comes back, you know, Einstein said, the ultimate question is this a safe universe, right? And that's really, I mean, to go in at a cellular level and release where that got stored in my body, that's a task, and it's a good one.
Yeah. It just, that simple understanding, right? That from that perspective, that's how it feels.
Yeah.
Like, the letting go of it. There's the big jujube or the big piece of chocolate, you know, the big benefit, right? You have to kind of like make a leap of faith that it's okay, that you're going to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Bill, I just want to jump in here and just say that now that what Karen said is exactly right. It can be a big task, except for now it doesn't have to be. Suffering is optional. With so many of the cognitive movement techniques, we're removing those programs she talked about in seconds, minutes at the most. So it doesn't have to be so hard anymore.
That is true. Suffering, you know, I love to say with cognitive movement, suffering is optional, right? Let yourself feel it, like I'm not worthy, you know, I'm afraid, and you feel it, and it's gone, and you're not fighting it, right? You could fight these things for years and years and years, and if you already have your cognitive movement ball, log on and do one of the videos and do the exercise focused on it. It'll be gone before dinner, you know, and you'll never face it again because it basically remaps the brain kinesthetically, auditory, and visually. You get a full remapping of your brain and you literally don't feel it again. So relief is minutes away. And obviously I can't get into, you know, a full training session here, but next week we're going to have 7 days, Monday through Sunday. Starting on Monday, that's this Monday, for 7 days, I'm going to have a half an hour session where you're going to go through the breath work that we did in the first phase of this. And then you're going to go through some emotional things to boost your immune system. So physical immunity boosting, emotional immunity boosting, and then releasing stuff as well. So that's going to be available. Liz has a link for you on that. It's $99 for all 7 days, and it's a half an hour a day. If you miss part, you can it'll get emailed to you. Anyway, that's another thing you can do.
Bill, that is on Cogno Movement. Just go to the event section. Also, what is now their big announcement is that World Cogno Movement Day will be on Thursday. 3 events happening 3 different times throughout the day. So if you have your ball, please join us. If you don't have your ball, get your ball and join us before then. I think there's plenty of time to get it, and you can get your ball at on Amazon.
And that's free. Thursday is
Yeah.
all free. I want to show you also, I was hoping that I could take care of the nutrition aspect here in phase 2, but we're going to have to schedule now phase 3 and cover nutrition in phase 3. I'm trying to keep these down to 1 hour each. So we're going to schedule phase 3, which is going to be the nutrition aspect that is so important. But I want to show you a couple other things that you can do before we go. I've gone over forgiveness here and what the benefits of it. There is something environmental that you can do. This is here before watching a sunset. Now, as you can see, the perfect alignment would be all these dots right down the center line. These are your energy centers. Now, have you ever noticed how you feel after watching a sunset? You notice how you kind of feel good? Well, check this out. I did this before watching a sunset, and here is after watching a sunset. Okay, get it? Before, after. The sunset has this ability to align your energetic systems. And the other thing I want to point out to you here is that the earth, your connection to the earth, I was actually really super amazed by this. I had heard this from some other Native American Indian elders. They used to like to put their feet in the earth. That's what they want to do. They would sit in a chair, put their feet in the earth. Well, here is what a connection with the earth looks like. Here's before, and here's after. Before, look at the size. And by the way, to define this for you, the size is relative to the amount of power. They are very large relative to the other ones. Now, the earth doesn't align you, but it does give significant amount of power. So the larger these are, the more energy you're producing. And it was just simply connecting with the earth. So what can you do? You can put your feet in the earth and watch the sunset. You'll find that not only you have more energy, but you're aligned. You'll feel at peace. Even the people around you, if you notice, when you watched a sunset, you have that at peace feeling. Here's another thing I want to point out is being around a loved one. I just did this really quickly. I just wondered what would happen if I held my daughter's hand. And I just did it just for a couple minutes. And I just did it, and here it is. The emotional pressure went down. My energy went up. My alignment is pretty close. So anyway, this all happened. I think this is a total of 15 minutes doing from one test to the other. So being around and connected with the people that you love or love you unconditionally has an effect. I want to, real quick, we're going to do the immunity in the next round, phase 3, but there's a couple things that I wanted to talk to you about right away before I let you go. this one right here is the gut and your immunity. So if you have diarrhea, constipation, gut pain, you know, these sorts of things, you may find that you really have a problem with your energy. So there is something that I found. You can look this up online. Stephen Gundry, and he has a product called Total Restore, and this product has helped. This particular product has helped me. You know, I had since I was a teenager, not long ago though. Well, maybe a few years. I've had gut issues, and anyway, this really helped me out. My digestion's really been good since. So Total Restore, Dr. Stephen Gundry. You can get that online. And the other thing that I wanted to mention to you is that, and these are, I'm just trying to get you things that you can get immediately to help boost your immune system, is there is a story from one of the last great plagues, and there was these thieves that would rob people that were sick or already dead, and they just rifle them, and eventually these thieves got caught, and in exchange for not being prosecuted, they said, we just want to know how the hell you're doing it, because they're walking around taking the money and not getting sick. Anyway, the secret was cloves and clove oil and some other really kind of smells. It's pretty fragrant. Anyway, there's a product out there. If you just Google like thieves essential oil, I don't know, maybe it's Young Living, one of those ones. But you you can basically put it on your feet and put a sock on, and it viruses don't like it at all. So anyway, those are a couple things. I'll stop there. We're going to have to do all of the nutrition and food. Liz is going to take that over because she's so experienced with this for part 3. And I think Liz, you can tell them when the schedule is for that. We'll be sending you an email and notice on part 3. I also plan on doing this entire thing again next week. I want to try and help as many people as I can. I would ask that you try to also distribute it to as many people as you can, because nobody knows about all this stuff. And we really need to help everyone with their immunity.
Hey, Bill,
Yes.
before we go, I want to share one thing with people that they can do, and it's one that may surprise you. So hold on here just a second. I need to be so you can see me, but I can't unpin you for some reason. Come on, where is it? Well, I can't do it. Anyway, I'll just tell you. I had a show and tell. But the one thing I want to share with people before we do our full immunity on herbs and food is a lemon. The lemon is the thing that everybody has in their house that you can use. So the lemon peel, actually, the whole thing is full of vitamin C, chock full of vitamin C, which everybody knows what vitamin C does to help us. But what a lot of people don't know is if you eat the lemon rind, lemon peel, it actually helps detox your liver, and we need our liver for immunity. The other thing is the lemon, if you squeeze it in water, the lemon itself, it will actually alkalinize your system, which seems weird because it's acid, but it immediately alkalinizes your system, which immediately boosts your immunity. So if we're in like the zombie apocalypse and we have no medicine, this is the one thing you can have. You can actually take this white part and put it on top of wounds. and it'll heal so fast you can't believe it. You can take the white part with the rind and put it on bad teeth if you have them, and it'll draw some of the toxins out. It detoxifies the system. So if you really want to boost your immunity during this virus system, use lemons and then eat the rind. I actually really like it. Bill thinks I'm a weirdo, but try that. That's the one tip for today. Eat a whole lemon.
Fantastic. So we'll get with you on a date and time for part 3. We on cognimovement.com, there are a ton of practitioners there where you can contact them and sign up. They can do an online session with you. So there's more than enough resources to have people do sessions online with CogniMovement with a certified practitioner. You can get your own CogniMovement on Amazon. And if you'd like to sign up for the week long, it's an intensive. It's half an hour a day, and you're going to get a complete workout and new techniques and actual things that we're going to be doing each and every day to boost your immune system all next week, Monday through Friday. So you can sign up for that under events at cognimovement.com as well. Before I end, I'm gonna finally shut up. Been talking the whole time. Ask for any other questions that people have on the breathing, on the forgiveness, on the emotional techniques that I taught. Open it up to whatever you have.
I have a question about the breathing.
Yes.
I wasn't able to get it exactly right. Would it still be effective? You know, like there was inhale, exhale, arching the back, changing it. There was so many things to think about. So that's my question.
Okay. You know, there is a lot to it, right? Even if you didn't get it exactly right, you're going to get benefit from it. You know, it doesn't have to be exact to start to get to the benefits. So you can rewatch on Facebook, but if you would like to have it guided every day for 7 days, and this is where, you know, things become kind of natural, like riding a bike, right? If you start going every day and doing it, getting instructed in it every day, you find that just becomes part of you, right? I've done it so many times now that I can just right? So it's repetition and learning it and seeing it and actually doing it over and over. You'll find you'll actually start feeling better, and it doesn't take long. You know, 1, 2,
Bill?
3 days, and you'll start feeling a lot better.
Bill, I just want to add to that a little bit. I didn't do it right. I did it only about 5 times instead of 50, and slowly, because I couldn't do it fast because, as this lady said, too many things going on. But even after that, I started feeling a lot of energy going up the spine.
Excellent. It's good. That's great. Were you laying down, face down?
Nope, standing up, but doing slowly because it's just said too many things going on. So the pressing and arching and all of that. So I did it slowly so I could actually do it, but it wasn't at the rhythm that you did it. And I did it not as many times, like I said, maybe 5 to 10. And later, not right away, but later, hours later, even now I can feel the energy going up the spine.
Yeah, it works. And you know what? Try it laying down on your stomach, and do it again. You will find this alone. Everything I taught, in and of itself, will change your life. Even that one thing can change your life. That energy running up your spine is no joke. And it contains within it the ability to transform you.
Yep.
So I would I'm very happy that you did it and you physically felt it. I would encourage you to keep going.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any last questions?
That's not a question. It's just a comment when you said it can transform you, and I really started saying, I'm getting scared. I've gotten used to being the way I am. So that's one of those issues or hurdles that I think we all run into that.
Well, the way I say, the way I always look at it is that, kicking and screaming, we're all transforming. You can waltz into it with open arms, or you can go into it kicking and screaming, but you're going to transform. We've been doing it all our lives. Change. There was a point that I actually had hair. Believe it or not, I know, but yeah, I actually did. I had hair at one point, and then I did. So we're constantly changing and evolving, right? And giving ourselves permission to change our mind, giving ourselves permission to change our mind about forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, change our mind about what we're eating, change our mind about all the way things that we look at. If you don't just do it, right, eventually, you get really pushed into it. But the transformation is stuff that does. It's quite positive.
I have a question. Next week, after the 30 minutes, will there be discussion afterwards, or is kind of get down, get dirty, and done type of thing?
Yeah, no, we'll do it's going to be get it done, for sure. This is about building your immune system. I'm gonna press you to build your immune system, and then after it's done, I'm gonna stop and we're gonna have a question and answer.
Okay.
So that is an important aspect.
Okay.
Having question and answer. So, yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Well, if you have any questions or anything, and you want to email, it's billmckennaevents@gmail.com, and we'll get this off to you as far as the next date for the nutrition and food type stuff. Keep your eye open for a complete another session, and please pass it around to everybody you can. If you know anybody in media that wants to do an interview, so I can kind of get the word out there to even broader audience and help more people, just have them contact me. I'd love to help more people. This stuff really works, and you're going to feel it. You'll if you just keep doing it. Thank you. And thank you, Liz, for putting all this on. Very much appreciated.
You are welcome. See you all next time.
Okay.
Thank you, Liz and Bill.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great session.